Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live on May 13th at 7 p.m. Central Time on a bright, sunny, warm day in Wisconsin, finally. Finally, Courtney says, after we've had freeze warnings for I think every night, but tonight.
Did it freeze last night?
I don't know if it did or not. The flowers are outside, so they made it. They're close to the house, so it was all right. So it's finally warmed up here, and we have our April box, which is Be Happy, that we are working on, and this is our fairy house and our fairies, Ava and Eva. And it is our subscription box that we ship monthly, and that we paint with non-fired products and techniques. And so this is our Bee Fairy House, and then our two fairies. And so this is our fairy house that we're working on, and then our fairies that we have color washed from our first night. So I think we were on about number... we did our windows, it says with gray, so that was number 7. So now we're on to number 8, which is to dry brush our rocks, charcoal, gray, and then a touch of white. So let me get some charcoal and some gray. Where's my gray? I'll let Courtney dig for the gray while I get the white. Oh, right there. It's right beside me. We haven't been able to get charcoal and ash. So if you don't have charcoal, you can take a little pile of white and add a drop of black to it and mix it, and then you can see if it's like a charcoal color, and you may need to add another little drop of black, but it shouldn't take more than 3 drops at the most. But I do have a little bit of charcoal, so we're going to use our charcoal, which is OS 475. So we do have a few colors we haven't been able to get from Duncan. So hopefully we get that resolved pretty soon. I would think everyone should get caught up here with but there's kind of compounding issues, because like we had the hack of the the gas line this week, and that kind of messed up transportation and shipping this week too, so it's just kind of an ongoing situation. So we just have to be patient and make do. So if you don't have the charcoal, just make yourself a little pile of white and add your black just a little bit at a time, and you can make your own charcoal. We've done that before on one of the videos to show you. So now we're going to dry brush our rocks. So we're looking at our rocks, we want to decide what brush to use, and we don't want a really small brush because we have a pretty good area to go. So I'm digging in my brushes here to see which one I want. I think I'll go with this round size 8. You could go with a 5 also. And for dry brushing, we just dip into the edge of our charcoal, and then I'm going to brush it out on my paper towel. And can you see on the screen, Courtney, is it showing, or are we need to zoom in? Or so Courtney thinks we're fine. So anyone that's new, Courtney is my daughter, and she monitors the questions on the comments and kind of watches that everything's in view. And so if you hear Courtney talking in the background, she's our helper and business partner here. So I have my charcoal loaded into my brush. So now I want to brush across my little rocks here and get those with a nice layer of charcoal on them. And we're going to do a little bit at a time. It's okay if you get it on your bee. We won't worry about that. I want to get up to my door, so I actually... I'm trying to do it so you can see it. I start away from the door and then just make little backwards C commas or C strokes, and then I can see where my paint is going, and I can nudge it right up to the door without getting it all over the door. I don't want to do big back and forth brush strokes and get gray all over my door, so I have to redo that. You could also switch to a smaller brush to do your edging. But if you just do these little strokes and start away from it and nudge up to it, you'll be fine. So welcome everyone that's joining us tonight. And we're just going to get a nice layer of charcoal on our piece and the rocks. So I start like at 12 o'clock here, and I'm going to work my way around, and we'll come back to the front, and that way that can dry, and we can add another layer onto it. You also want to do your bottom a little bit so you have a nice looking bottom if someone picks it up and looks at it. So we'll just keep grabbing our charcoal here and going back and forth. And we're just going to leave about 10% of our black down in the crevices, which is our shading for our piece, kind of just automatic shading from the color wash. And you won't put all of your charcoal on at one time. You'll do several layers, so that's why we're going to start at one point and then work our way around and then come back around a few times. So we have a little ladybug here. It's okay if you get your charcoal on that. Our rust and red, we'll take care of that later. So I just got a nice little layer. You can see we can still see through our charcoal, but that's okay. We'll build that up on the next time around. So I hope everyone had a good week. I think Courtney's got everyone's business boxes taken care of, or orders.
Lisa and Marie.
Except for Lisa and Marie. So if you're
Anybody that's not Lisa and Marie.
Courtney says anyone that's not Lisa or Marie, if you haven't heard from Courtney and you're expecting to, probably send us a message because she may have missed something.
I'll get to those two ladies tonight or tomorrow.
So Lisa and Marie, Courtney says she will get to you guys either tonight or tomorrow morning. I would say just give her till tomorrow morning because it gets to be late by the time we get done. Let's see what else is going on. I actually took yesterday off and went greenhouse shopping, got some plants for the classroom, and got 2 flats only for my house. Usually I have way more, but really don't have time to be tending plants yet this year, so I just got a few for the window boxes.
What's your farmhouse?
Huh?
What'd you get for the farmhouse?
So for the farmhouse, we got those geraniums for the big black kettle, and then the white Asilium, and then we put those in the window box by the door also. And then I have a little red wagon, and I'm not sure if I'm putting the last 3 in there or not, or if I'm going to put a fairy garden in there, so we'll have to see. Courtney wants the gnomes in there, so maybe we won't be putting the geraniums in there. I'm not sure.
Keep in mind Tomcat.
Huh?
Keep in mind Tomcat.
But he shouldn't bother them. And if we don't put the geraniums in there, I'll probably bring a couple galvanized pails from home and put them in there along the sidewalk. I was thinking that would be kind of nice to have the sidewalk lined with those, because I won't usually have them in my backyard, but they won't be. I didn't buy anything for them this year because I normally have to spend a couple hours a day watering, and I don't have time for that at home. So I might bring those containers to the classroom, and then we can enjoy them there. They were old maple syrup galvanized pails that they used to use, and I plant flowers in them always. Usually planted the seeds.
Welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes Snippet.
So Courtney's got me in the background there. So trying to pretty up the outside there and make it look enjoyable for everybody when they come. Let's see what else. Oh, we got 2 hanging baskets. I picked out one and Courtney picked out one. One's got red, yellow, purple. What else is in it? I don't know. Courtney says pink.
We need to get the colorful ones.
Yeah, there are colorful ones. What was in yours? What was pink, and what else?
Little blue things.
Little blue things. Was there yellow in there too, I think? So those are on each side of the door coming in. And then I got one fuchsia to go in the heart hanger out by the very front door. But I think there's bee balm planted there, so the bee balm may get taller than the planter. So we either have to move the bee balm or move the planter, I think. We'll have to think about that. So I'm just getting our nice charcoal on here, bringing it up to the door and up to the building. Just doing little strokes so you can nudge it in there without getting it all over the building itself. And if you do, you can just go back and touch it up. So now when I'm coming back around, I can see that I can still see through my charcoal. So I don't want that. So that's my clue that I need a little bit more. You know, like I tell everybody else, a little bit more. So when it's really shiny and wet like that, your brush is actually too wet. So I brushed it out on the paper towel so it really goes on fairly dry, not real shiny and wet. That would be more of a wet brushing technique then. So we're just gonna build up our charcoal one more time around here. That covers really nice. We'll be happy when they get that back in stock because we're actually completely out at the classroom at this point. Yeah, we're out of a few different colors, so azalea is another one, and I think the gold and the baby blue and medium blue, so we'll be glad when they get all that stuff back in stock.
Maple has a medium blue.
Oh. Let's see, the ladies at the classroom have been doing a few glaze projects this week, so once I get those fired, we'll be sharing those pictures online. They're using the jungle gems with the cascade, the white cascade and the clear cascade, so it'll be fun to see what those look like. I'm pouring the box for June, which is a snail and a turtle, but I don't have them painted yet, so hopefully next week I can bring those to show you guys. Normally I would have painted them today, but I actually moved molds out of the garage today, and it's kind of been a long day moving molds and cement blocks and boards. And
You found goodies.
Yep, I found goodies. I mean, stuff that we have the stuff in the garage logged, but
You haven't seen it.
haven't really seen it. Haven't been out there digging in it because we've been getting other new molds, but so it was kind of like digging in my own molds, but came across a few really cute things, pulled a couple things that didn't go to the storage unit. They actually went in the house to pour, so
You didn't say that.
so. And then I tried to kind of move them by section so we don't have to relog them. And then I just put a note on the shelf that they went to where they came from. So hopefully we can do Control F and then put in the prior shelf letter and number and then just relabel it. Is that going to work, Courtney, or not? Like if we do Control F, like H1.
I think you have to find and replace.
Find and replace, yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, so we have our charcoal on there. I really can't see through in any spot, so that's exactly what we want. We just have our black down in our crevices, which is our nice dark shading that we got going on. So now I'm going to go to my OS 474 gray. If you have ash, you could actually do the ash, but we weren't able to get ash, so we're just going to go with the gray and the white. So OS 474 gray. And we'll get a little drop of that. And let's see, we got a farmhouse sign we put out by the side door where we come in. One of the ladies that comes to the shop found that and brought it for us, so that was really nice. So this is going on really heavy, so I got to brush that brush out some more. I don't want it to go on that heavy when I'm going with my next color. I want it a lot lighter. You can see it's a lot lighter here where it's real heavy there. So I'll just let that dry and we'll build that up. So these are rocks, so you can have your rocks all different colors if you want. I just kind of went with the grays. If you like brown rocks, you can do brown rocks. Just like always, you don't have to paint them the way I painted them. You can paint them any color you want. We just do the live with the way that the sample was painted, and then that is the instructions that come in the box as well. So that's why we do that particular color, just to paint what the samples looked like. So now I grab some more gray and I'm brushing that out really, really well. And we'll just work our way around from 12 o'clock and from the front to the back and back around. Again, it's okay if you get it on your Ladybug because that will get rust and red on it. And we'll take a little bit onto the bottom again so we keep that looking just as good as the top. So let's see, your June box is being poured. If anyone still wants the May box, we have a few of those. I'm still pouring Hannah. We have a few people that are on the Hannah list yet. That mold got quite wet, so I had to leave it rest for a little bit. So I think Courtney probably touched base with anyone that had Hannah that we weren't able to send right away.
I think I have, if you clean more fairy houses, I can have more fairy boxes.
Okay, so Courtney's telling me if I get more fairy houses clean, she can have more fairy houses, which I believe they're already poured. It's just a matter of getting them clean. So.
And I have just a small handful of March bunny boxes left.
And Courtney says she has maybe 2 of the March bunny boxes left. So if anyone wants those, you can get those. You can just go on. You want them to go on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque? You can just go on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. She'll probably just put the link on there for you. But it's under the Bisque box tab. But I'm just building up our gray here, just kind of highlighting our stones to make it nice and bright, kind of like the house is nice and bright. Trying to go across my crevices. I'm not going with them so that they fill in. We want to leave that shadowing down in there with our charcoal and our black. And we're just kind of highlighting the high areas now with the gray. So let's see. Chrissy says, do you know what the June box is? Yep, we do.
Show her?
Courtney thought she showed you, but it is, I'm not sure, I don't know if you're coming.
It's in it, yeah.
It's a snail and a turtle. And then we have extras that are a frog, a praying mantis, and then I didn't realize this, but I poured the worm mold once, and then he kind of got in a pile where he shouldn't have been.
Oh, seriously?
So he hasn't been poured the last as many times as those other pieces. So but we do have a praying mantis, a worm. They're kind of fun characters. They're
big
yeah, they're kind of chunky and characterish. They're not like true real looking like the snail from the mosaic class, but they're just kind of fun, summery. So we're going to be doing those in bright colors, and I hope to get those painted by next Thursday so you guys can see them. I just had to spend time today moving molds out of my living room and dining room because I pretty much couldn't move. And then I went and took 3 loads out of the garage as well, so it was kind of a busy day.
I've been shipping.
And Courtney says she's been shipping all day, so we've
For the last week.
Yeah, for the last week we've had lots of stuff to ship, which is good.
Yeah. I'm almost cleaned up. Almost.
Can be a little overwhelming though, but she's getting it cleaned up, so we'll get there. But if anybody but Lisa and Marie haven't heard from Courtney and you're expecting to hear from her, send her a message because she'll get that stuff. She's working on cleaning up all the messages as well, so. So now you can see that was too wet there. I got it really bright, so I got to brush out that brush, and now I got to even this out a little bit more. So you just even it out if you get too much. You don't want to let that with too much in one spot because it doesn't look right. So you can see now I have more on the rest of the rock, so that kind of even that out.
Juana actually likes the big ants. Do we have them?
We do not have the big ants. Patty had those, and so I never got those.
I think we have Ima and Anna though.
We have Ima and Anna. Yep, I think, are those worms though, aren't they? Yeah. So, I did pull a big turtle to pour.
Carrie got a nice Carrie got a nice compliment.
Oh, what she got? Oh, you guys are amazing. Well, thank you, Carrie. We're trying, but it seems like we have more stuff to pour and do than we got time for.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. I actually need to get my pouring situation a little more more friendly. So it's actually in the kitchen, dining room, and molds are in the living room,
Plus the basement.
and the basement. But we had to grow before we could move, so it's going to be going to the garage. So we have to move molds out of the garage, and then that stuff will be going to the garage, and then we're going to insulate the garage, and we'll have to run 220 before winter, and then put the kilns out there, and then we'll also have to get some kind of heat going out there. So it'll be kind of a busy project, but it should make me more efficient and have more room, and then get my house back to normal. So we have our gray on here, and it's looking all pretty good. We have a nice shade of it. We can see we have the gray on the highlight, then we have our charcoal, and then we have our black down in our crevices, and that's exactly how we want it. You could have your stones more different colors. You could have brown ones in here and blue ones, whatever you want to do. We just went with the gray though. So now we're going to go just a little bit of white highlight, because we have these nice bright yellow and bright pink and bright blue, so we just want to brighten up our rocks just a little bit. So we have our Duncan OS 431 white, Duncan OS 431 white, and we need just a little bit of that. And I got dry paint on top, so we got to peel that off. And I'm going to continue on with my dirty gray brush, because we're kind of still in the gray family, so I haven't changed brushes in between. That just gives us nice gradual shading with our colors. And we'll flip our paper towel around here, get a little more white and work it out. Let's see, Courtney has to come one day and help me with my pond, because one of the railroad ties kind of fell in, and I got it part way out, but those things are so heavy I couldn't get it all the way out.
Do I have to go in the pond?
Cordy asked if she has to go in the pond. No, I'll go in the pond. So the pond's probably like 15 years old. It's kind of ready for probably need a revamp here in the next year or two. But we have to get that railroad tie out, because it holds the edge up, so we got to get that back into place so we don't lose all our soil on the side. So I did get it part way, and I have it tied, but it was just too heavy to actually get out the whole way. So that'll be the next thing. And then the weeds are kind of growing at home too. I didn't get preen out in time because we had like a week of 70 degree, 80 degree weather, and then we went cold again.
I put preen out
and then in that little bit of time where it was so warm, it like the weeds sprouted, and if you put preen down, it has to go down before your weeds sprout. So if we would have had a normal spring, I could have put it down like last week or this week, and it would have been fine. But now I got to do some weed control too. So
sounds very official.
it sounds official. Well, if you've seen the front yard, it looks like it needs to be official. So I'm just doing our white kind of just on our little any little edges, just to kind of lighten this up. You can see it's lightening it up really, really good just by doing those edges. And then we still have our charcoal and our gray. Kind of do a little more here on the doorstep just to bring more attention to that. And I think that looks pretty good. Come back here and get the back doorstep a little more, just to kind of make it more welcoming right into the door. Okay, so we have our grays on there and our little bit of white. So number 9 is to paint our Ladybug's rust. So we'll get our Doc Holliday DH28 rust, or if you have Duncan rust, you can use that. DH28 rust, and you only need a little bit. I probably got way too much down. So I'm going to use one of my liners. It's the 20 Mini Majestic liner, and I think Courtney tried ordering these and only got 3 of them.
I have a Monogram liner.
But she did get the Monogram liner. That's this one. I like the longer haired liner, so the Monogram liner is a shorter hair liner compared to the liner, the Mini Majestic liner. They're not actually calling it anything else, just a liner.
I know, it's kind
So
of
both of these are
confusing.
actually 20 liners. So the one closest to me is the Monogram liner. So you can see that those bristles are half the length of the other liner, I guess the regular liner. I do like the longer liners. You can put more paint in them. So with that type of brush, you want to dip it in the water first and then pat it on your paper towel that conditions your bristles so that the paint goes all the way to the inside.
The other one isn't that long though.
Nope, and then I want to draw my brush through my rust because that'll kind of load those bristles up. And that's the nice thing with the liner, you can go further with it because you load up the bristles with that paint. And since it's just little bitty ladybugs, that's why I'm using the liner. So we have one on the front here. So we're going to paint it rust. And I'm just painting it, I'm not dry brushing it. So brushes kind of have been an issue to get too. Just everything is kind of an issue to get. Sealer's been an issue to get. Paint brushes. Hopefully
I have tons of Harold brush pads though.
Cordy says she's got tons of Harold brush pads though. She stocked up on those and that wasn't a problem. We do have a clay and talc order in, which is actually usually takes 2 weeks to get, and it's going to take 6 weeks to get. So that's another thing. So everything is just kind of backed up. I don't know if it's just from COVID yet or what, but
And it's supply chains across the board.
just kind of across the board, everything's backed up. So let me see. So your June molds are the snail and the turtle, and then
what their July molds were.
you guys guessed what the July molds were. They're snowman ornaments, and they are actually Donna molds. So we have a new mold company again. They'll be from Donna's, so they'll be coming on our clay order.
You can tell me of a brand new mold company a month after that. Yeah.
Yep. Also, then for August we'll be having a brand new mold company that we haven't done before, so that's kind of exciting for you guys. And then we have working on a technique that we haven't done before as well, and I think you guys might be really excited to find out what that's going to be. That'll be for August, so I have to do some little bit of playing around here and creating, and then we'll so August will be a kind of I think the box will be a big month because it's going to be something I think you guys might be interested in, and something completely new that we haven't even done in the last 2 years. So just trying to come up with different techniques of things to do. So it'll be a new mold company and a new technique, non-fired technique. So that should be pretty cool. And we'll be ordering those molds probably within a couple of weeks here, right after the next box ships at the latest. So I'm just painting out our little ladybug here with our rust, getting a nice layer of rust on it. Let's see, I know there's more. So we have the one on the back door, we have the one up by the front door, we have the one on the rock, and then we have another one on the rock. So we'll do a little experimenting with that new technique for August, and actually kind of excited about it. It's something I wanted to do, but didn't know how to do it. But I watched a class last week, and she showed us how to do it, how to make this product that we're going to need to do it. So I don't want to give it away yet, but Cordy says if I keep talking, I will. So we're going to do a little experimenting, and I have ideas, so it should be a fun, August will be a fun month. Then September, Cordy has picked out Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
And then see, what October is usually some kind of Thanksgiving fall thing. November will be some kind of Christmas thing, and I'm no idea what that's going to be. And then December is probably going to be snowmen. So snowmen or penguin. We haven't done penguins either in a bit. So.
We did that in January.
Huh?
January.
Yeah, we did something different in January though. Last year, or this year.
We started the stepping stones.
Yeah.
We will never do ever.
Oh, so Cordy says we will never do the stepping stones again.
Ever. ever.
So January will probably be penguins then.
Yeah. I think I got some picked out.
December will be snowmen, and then January should be penguins. That kind of a theme going on. So lots of stuff going on.
Carrie asked if you didn't make extra sheets for the Gnomes.
So I have a question. Can you get the extra sheets for the other Gnomies that you can download? So they're not done yet, but I did write down what I did. So I'll have to touch base with Courtney on that, and we'll see what we can do.
There's other freebies on that tab, but not those guys.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can. I have it written down in my notebook what I did step by step. So.
Are you supposed to be painting that bee rust?
Oh, I was thinking it was the ladybug. It's a bumblebee. Oh boy, you guys, it's been a long day. Well, Courtney caught that. Look at there.
No, that was Jackie.
Oh, Jackie. Yeah, well, okay. Well, no, he's not supposed to be Russ. I thought he was a ladybug with his wings out, but no, it's a darn bee. Okay, well, that's okay. Actually, I'm just going to finish painting it with the rust so that the yellow covers evenly. Okay, so see? So this is how to fix something. So he's not supposed to be that. He's a bumblebee, and I was thinking it was a ladybug with the wings open. That's what happens when you talk too much, is right. It's hard to concentrate and talk and think of what to tell you guys. So here we go. La-di-da. So tonight we're going to learn how to fix something. So because I had part of it done in rust, I'm just going to do the rest of it in rust. So my yellow will cover evenly, and it won't be two different shades on one side and then the other side. So I apologize for that, but that's what happens when I get mumbling away here. But it turned out good, because now we can show you how to fix something if you paint it wrong. Well, I could still make it into a ladybug, I suppose, but we'll make it a bee like it's supposed to. So we'll just finish covering it with the rust so that our yellow covers nice and even. So that's how you fix that.
Wanda said she was wondering why that big ladybug wasn't on her face.
Oh, okay, well, that's how she goes some days. It's been a long day, you guys. I've been moving molds since 7:30 this morning till whatever time I left for Courtney's. I think 5 o'clock, so. Alright, so now we'll go back to our ladybugs, and we'll go to our real red, which is OS 483, real red. But hey, that's okay. We'll learn how to fix something when you mess it up. So we need just a little bit of real red. And now I better look at my ladybug so I don't paint his head red and it needs to be black, which I guess I could have left the rust too. So we're going to just paint the shell part of our ladybug with our real red. And you could dry brush it if you wanted to as well, but it's just a lot easier to just paint the little guy out, and then you don't have to worry about fixing up the house if you get red all over it and rust. So let's see. Was it Mother's Day last week, or was that this? Are we a week?
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday. Oh, did everyone have a nice Mother's Day? Mine was kind of busy. I poured and took molds apart, and then I baked a chocolate cake and took it to my parents' house. And then Courtney came, and Jason as well. And then I went back home and took the molds apart that I poured. I didn't get my breakfast, but I did have breakfast yesterday for lunch. I had a ham and cheese omelet at a little cafe that was around the corner from one of the greenhouses, and they had the best menu. Like 4 pages of all different, it was a great place to go to. It's called the Cafe on Bellevue in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And they had from burgers to gyros to everything. You could get meatloaf with mashed potatoes. So I had a ham and cheese omelet with hash browns with cheese, and they came with American cheese like I like, and not cheddar, because I don't like cheddar on my omelets. So it was really tasty, and the prices were really good. So if you're ever in Green Bay, check out the cafe on Bellevue. It's over there by Home Depot on the east side.
That's all about the greenhouse that's hidden in the back.
Oh, yeah, because around the corner is this our first greenhouse stop is called Lindsley's. It's a little family-run place that's been there for years, but it's hidden, and you wouldn't know it was there unless someone told you that it was there, and they just have the best prices and the best stuff. So now we have our ladybugs all done in red, and we're not going to do the bee. We're going to let the bee alone this time. So now we're going to get us some black. So we'll get our OS 476 black. Linda had dinner delivered. Well, that's a good idea, too.
I haven't had delivery in a long time.
No, me either. But the omelet was really good. It hit the spot. I haven't had an omelet in a couple years. So now we're going to paint his little head black. And I'm just using a little liner instead of a round brush or a flat brush, because it's just such a little guy. And then Courtney's going to help me get that log out of the pond, that railroad tie, so that's my Mother's Day gift right there.
I got something else.
Oh. Well, I told you not to get anything. That was fine.
No, I got something else coming.
Oh.
Just the lighting.
And I changed some of the water in the pond too, pumped some out and put some fresh in, because the poor fish have been neglected here the last year.
Have your babies there though?
I believe we had babies last year, because there's some 4-inch ones in there, and that would make them from last year, and we really didn't need to have babies. And we did lose one big one and 2 little ones. But our winters are so hard, it's kind of, that's pretty typical to lose a few. So I'm getting the black on all my little ladybugs' heads here. And I actually did see a ladybug out at the farm last week, so that was nice. No snakes yet, so that's good. Don't really care to see them. Okay, so we got our black done. So now we want to do some little black dots. So I need one of my ball styluses. They always go MIA here. Okay, so we have our little ball stylus, and he's got paint on him from the last time I used him, so we got to peel that off. And this one's kind of been through the ringer. He's even bent here on the end, but that's okay. So you guys would have gotten a ball stylus set of 3 in one of your boxes. And what you want to do is take a smaller ball stylus. They have different ends on them, different sizes. Dip it into your black paint. And this is a little bigger than I would like it to be, but we'll just add lightly touch, and we'll get some little black dots on here. Give us a cute little ladybug. And you want to go straight down when you're doing your black dots. And we'll load it back up again. And we'll just do them kind of randomly. And then we got a cute little ladybug just like that. So now we will come to our ones on the front. And it looks like I forgot to paint the doorknob on that back door, so we'll have to do that. But we can do that later, because you guys already know how to do that. So I just put like 4 or 5 dots on our ladybug. And just kind of random. And we got to get the little guy down here. Now with the dots, they take a little longer to dry, so you want to make sure you don't get your fingers in them when you're handling your house. Oh, he's really big. So we will make a few more. Kind of make those bigger to match the one that got too big. So that's how you can fix that. If you get one that's too big, you just make the rest a little bigger, because ladybugs are all different, just like all of us are. Okay, so what are we doing? Denise has koi. She hasn't cleaned it out yet either. Oh, you had it for 20 years. Yep. Oh, they're nice size. Yep. Ours, the ones I have now, I've had about 15 years. I lost all of them about 15 years ago, but I actually only bought the yellow ones that we have in there now. The rest are all rehomed or rescued guys. After I lost that batch that I had for like 10 years too, so we got our dots done on our heads done. So now we can paint our bee wings lemon peel. So now we can fix our little boo-boo. So we have our lemon peel OS 434 lemon peel. And we'll get a little pile of that. My paints tend to get dry because they sit here from week to week. So you always want to make sure you shake them up really well. Courtney's yawning back there. So just a little bit of lemon peel because we only have a couple bees. So now I'm going to look at my bees and make sure I get them colors. And so I did his little tail end here with the yellow lemon peel. And we're just going to paint right over our rust. That's not going to hurt anything. It may take an extra coat, but that's okay. At least it'll be the same shade of yellow now that he's completely in rust. Otherwise our yellow may have been two different shades because the rust was under half of it and not under the other half, so we just did the whole thing. So we have quite a few bees out at the farmhouse. We have I think it's called a bridal veil shrub blooming, and they are really swarming on that thing, which is good because it's some of the first food. We got some tulips blooming. The daffodils are almost done. Let's see, the other flowers are really sprouting out. I seen a hummingbird this week. Actually, a few times. And Renee's been feeding those out there for us. But now they'll have the hanging baskets too, so they'll have plenty of food. So that is our bees. Let me look at my piece here so I can make sure I got him done. And now we have our bees up on our roof. So we'll have to come back and give that another coat just because we have all that rust under there. So these guys I did the yellow here, and then I did the little black dot in the center. So we'll just paint that out. And again, I'm just using a little liner brush just because it's such a small area. And you want to brush it out so it's not... Huh?
Carrie took my last two bulk stylists unless there's some at the farmhouse.
I don't think there's any at the farmhouse. We'll have to order ball styluses. I think we're out of those right now.
I have Carrie's though.
But Courtney has two for Carrie, but after that we'll have to we'll order them when we order from Glazers before the box ships. So we have to stock back up on them. I think we just talked about that last week even. So hopefully they have them and we can order them. That's the biggest thing. You can also use the end of your brush. Let's see. I have a brush with a little end on it. Like a lot of times your little liner brushes have the small end on them. You can use that for your little dots too. You can even use a toothpick. But the ball styluses are really nice because you can get it nice and even. And then they come in a set of 3. And so there's actually 6 different sizes.
I think 2 of them have...
You think 2 or 1 only has 2, so I think there's 5 sizes. So these are the ball styluses. Yep, so the big one just has 1 on it, but then the other ones have a different size on each end. So we'll get some more of those ordered. I know, they always disappear in there. So here's the little one. You can see it's got a really nice little end on it, but it looks like I need to clean the paint off when I'm done using it better. And then here's the big one, so you can see that there's the bigger one, and then you have really littler ones, and then So there's like 5 different sizes with the one set of 3, so that's really nice. Well, you can have that. So now we're going to do our next stripe on our little bee here. And I'm being careful not to get my fingers in any of my dots because those do take a little bit longer to dry.
Some of the boxers, I'll just make a list.
Huh?
I'm going to make a list for the boxers.
So Cordy says she's making a list for all you boxers that want styluses. They were in the box, I think, last January or February, if you were a boxer then. Otherwise,
So like a year ago.
yeah, so like a year ago. So your June box will have a fan brush in it as your extra, and we will be splattering with that. So we're using that for a technique tool.
I have them in my possession.
Huh?
I have them in my possession.
Cordy says she's got them in her possession, so we don't have to worry about not being able to get them. So, and then July through December is going to be gold Taclon painting, nylon painting brushes, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, you're still working on it.
If everything goes right, yes.
So Cordy's still working on that, but that was our plan. So hopefully we were able to get them.
He confirmed that he could. It's just until something's in my possession at this point.
Right, because we thought we were getting 45 of those liners, and we got 3.
So I'm like, unless something's in my possession.
Cordy doesn't count it until it's in her basket. But that's the plan. Is July through December, you guys will be getting a nylon painting brush, so you'll have a set of nylon painting brushes if you get all the boxes from July through December. So that's a nice extra to have, because you can always use more painting brushes. It seems like I dig in my bucket and I'm still looking for a certain one, or I don't have the certain one, so you can never have enough brushes. So I just went back and giving my yellow all a second coat so that we can't see through it. You don't want to see through that yellow that you have on there. So it's kind of a little putsy work, but we're moving right along with this, and then we will get it finished up and we can get to our fairies. I was thinking about putting the fairy hoses in the wagon, actually, Courtney. You think the gnomes? We could put the gnomes on the stump. Get another wagon. Well, I'll put you on that. Casey actually brought that one over. Okay, so we have our yellow on all of our 3 Bs. Again, you want to make sure you can't see through it. What?
They don't have a stylus.
You don't have a stylus?
No.
Oh, you can't order them even? Oh, so the styluses we're not able to order as of today, but hopefully they'll be back in stock by the time we need them. Courtney's not going to hold her breath, she says, you guys. So now we're going to go and do our black, which is our OS 476 black. And we're going to go where our black will be on our bees. The wings I actually did with the gray so that we could put the white iridescent on them that you guys got in your box as the extra for this box. It's kind of your tool. You use very little of it, so you can use it on lots of projects going forward. So we're just going to get our black on our bee body here. You can see I'm just painting it, holding it steady, kind of drawing the brush towards me. Kind of nice straight lines. And then our wings we'll do with our gray. So that white iridescent that's in our in your box. You can use it on different things. We used it on our fairy wings and on the bee wings. One of the ladies at the classroom used it on her frog eyes and something else on the frog. Yeah, it was really cute. Yep. And now we'll come to our bee that we got covered in rust here, and we'll get him with black so he's looking his appropriate colors.
I don't think we showed them Casey's Appletini frog.
No, because we can't get that glaze.
Let's see if there's something comparable.
Yeah. So I think we're down to 3 ladies need to come back and grow out their little snails yet, but otherwise those are almost all done and they all turned out great.
Can we leave off the rhinestones on the instructions?
We could have left the rhinestones off because I didn't put them on. So it looks like Cordy just found out that we missed the rhinestones on the instructions. So your rhinestones you want to add after you seal your pieces so they don't get coated up with your sealer. Same thing with glitter, like I usually add my glitter after I've sealed so like the glitter doesn't get all covered with sealer and dulled. And Cordy says she sent enough for the front of your fairy but not the back side, so really just the front. If you wanted more different ones, you can go like to the scrapbooking aisle.
Those came from Hobby Lobby.
You can, like Hobby Lobby and the scrapbooking aisle, you can find more if you want more, if you want to doll it up more. She didn't really think to put them on the back.
I didn't count.
And I didn't have them, so I didn't put them on the back of mine, so that's how I missed them on the instructions. So everyone got a strip, so there's enough for the front, and you just seal your fairy, and then you can, I'd actually use another glue like the E6000 and put it on with a little bit of that so they stay on better. So now we're getting our bees all painted here, each one. And I got yellow on my house, so I'll have to fix that. So in each bee I kind of have a little stinger here on their tail end with a little black dot. So make sure you do that. This guy will get a little black dot on him too.
Did you look and see what fairy house for next year?
Cordy asked if I looked for a fairy house for next year. I haven't looked. I didn't even think about it. I didn't know if we wanted to keep going with fairy houses or...
Yeah, they said they did.
They do? Okay.
Remember last week?
Not really. I think there's another boy fairy we can get.
Pick out a girl.
So then Cordy says we'll pick out a girl to go with it, and then probably another fairy house to go with the set. That would make a cute little scene in a wagon or on a stump. Or so I'm just painting our black in.
Actually, 2 more boys.
There's 2 more boys?
There's a boy fairy with a snail who's kneeling.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought there was only 1 more, actually.
No, there's another boy. We can do them for 2 more years.
So Cordy says we can do fairies for 2 more years because there's 2 more boys. I didn't know that. So now she'll have to find a house for us.
Not too big.
So it looks like I missed the yellow on the front of this guy here. We only painted the back, so we'll have to come back and get his yellow on. So I'm actually resting my second finger on my piece when I'm drawing my straight lines to get my edges filled in. I find that works really well for me to rest that pinky finger or the second finger. Some people don't do that. They like that free motion instead. But the anchoring this side of my hand works really well for me. So we're going to get a little black dot on him for a little stinger. And we got to get his little head here yet. And we'll have to come back and touch up the yellow that I missed. Too much talking tonight, I guess. Okay, so we got that done. We got this one done. We got that one done. So this one here doesn't really look round. I kind of got him cut off here, so we're going to just kind of shape that so it's a little bit rounder. Kind of a nice circle-y look to it and not lopsided. So you can always go back and touch stuff up. So we're going to wash out our brush. Go back to my yellow because I missed the head over here. His little body section. We'll get our yellow on.
Oh, sorry. Do we have they can order the Bisque from last year. I don't have any boxes left.
So Cordy says you she must have a question. You can order the Bisque from last year, but we don't have the boxes, any boxes left because we don't have the extra.
The little fairies are 6, and then I think the Dragonfly Bill is 18.
So the little fairies are $6 each, and then the fairy house is 18.
The Dragonfly one is 18.
The Dragonfly house is 18. So you could order just the Bisque if you missed the didn't get in the box last year, but we don't have the extras to like send you the whole box.
I can for sure get the fairies to fit in this boxes, but the dragon house is kind of dependent upon what's in the box.
I'm just looking at my bees, so now we can go to our gray. Let's make sure I'm doing the right color here and not just going. Yep, the wings are gray. Except the one on the rock, I made him white because he would blend in with the rock, so we'll get some more gray, OS474, and just a little pile. Again, I'm going to just use my liner. And now we're going to paint our fairy wings. And we're doing the gray so we can put the iridescent on it and it'll show up nice. And then last year's fairy house, I believe I have some poured, but they'll have to be cleaned and fired, so there may be a little delay in getting them. And Daisy as well, yep. Oh, and I just took her mold to the storage unit. Probably gotta bring it back. Par for the... It's usually how it goes. I think I have more than enough poured, and then I... Yep, these are bee wings. We're doing...
Usually on top of it.
Oh, well, no, we're doing the bee wings with our gray.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to put the iridescent will go on them. We're painting our bee wings with our gray.
Oh,
And then the iridescent will go over the top, yep.
why did you choose gray and not white?
So Cordy asked, why did I choose gray and not white? I don't know, I just thought it would be better than white. The one on the rock, I did put white on it. Let's see if we can even see a difference. Because the rocks are gray, I made him white. You can barely see it on there, so if it was gray, you'd really be hard to see the iridescent on there, but the iridescent on the gray up here shows up really well. You can see it's kind of purpley, pinky. Hopefully you can see that.
Camera doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. It's kind of like the iridescent paints you used to be able to buy, like the 6 or 12 packs back in the 80s, which you can no longer get. You can either mix that in with your paint or you can put it over the top. I found that putting it over the top actually works better than mixing it in the paint. For me, I like that better. But we're actually painting gray on first here so that it'll show up. And I'm just using a liner. Huh?
It's a worm, a frog, and
A praying mantis.
3 extra pieces.
Yep. We're just painting our gray out. And then the June animals actually have a pouring hole in their back instead of on the bottom. because they could have been used as scrubbies, or you could put a tea light in them if they were cut out. Although we didn't cut them out because I wanted to spatter them, and I thought it'd be better to not cut them out. So we're getting our light gray, or our gray, I should say, not light gray, on our bees here, on their wings. You can see I usually draw the brush towards me. That just works easier. Sometimes being on the camera screen, I don't like going up the side here now, but I do like drawing it towards me better. And we're just going to brush this gray out. And Courtney's yawning back there again. She went through 3 rolls of bubble wrap here in the last 2 days. Day and a half, she said. So she's been busy shipping. Trying to get the extras for everyone. And
a case of the boxes. I think I got 5 of them.
I had moved 90 cement blocks today. How would you like to have done that?
Well, I might have traded, yeah. I would have traded, yeah.
You would have traded?
Yeah.
It,
I've been shipping for like over a week.
I know. We're getting our gray done here. And then I had to load the cement blocks too, because they only had one person there, and he was filling the cement truck, so he couldn't leave the thing. So he said, "Oh, like I think he almost fell off his chair, I think." I said, "Well, I have to unload them, so I guess I can load them." So let's look at our bee here, because he's kind of almost like the roof shingle is in there, but I kind of made it the bee wing just to make it bigger and more prominent. So not only did I have to load them and unload them, or not only unload them, I had to load them too. And then when I came back for the second load, he was really shocked. It's like, well, it is what it is. I need them. So I have shelves built and molds are ready to move. Came across a couple of nice planters.
Okay.
Let's see, one was like a crock pot type, or an old crock type thing.
You find my elephant planter from Rose?
Cordy's asked if I found the elephant planter from Rose. He's probably on the list. Although some of the planters didn't get logged, they just got put back in the corner. And we have to work on that corner too. So we're just painting our bee wings with our gray. And I need a little bit more here. So part of this looks like it's the shingle, but I really wanted my wings to be a little bit bigger, so I did kind of extend them down, so you can do that too if you want. Just wanted them to be more flashy up there with our iridescent on them. Not just a little bitty piece. And you probably have to go back and do 2 layers so that you have a nice coat of it, so it's not, you can't see through your gray. Cordy says she wants Culvers, you guys. Huh?
I'm going to check the flavor of the day.
Well, if Jason's on his way, you can have him bring us both.
Oh, I should check with him.
I don't want no blueberry crumble or nothing like that, though. I want
double caramel
Oh.
pecan.
Oh my god, salted double caramel pecan. That's one of my favorites.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, man.
And you don't like that because there's nuts in it.
I got 2 scoops of chocolate.
Cordy won't eat anything with nuts in it, you guys. And there's a story behind that.
Blame Grandpa.
When she was like 3 years old, we had the Christmas program at church, and they gave the kids a bag of candy, and the candy had salted nuts in it. And my dad, her grandpa, would throw the peanuts in his the shell salted peanuts in his mouth and suck the salt off, and then take them out and then crack them open and eat the peanuts. But Courtney didn't know that he did that. She thought he just ate them shell and all. So she ate them shell and all, and Grandma kind of yelled, spit it out, and she spit it out, and it was kind of a traumatizing. so she still don't eat nuts to this day, 30 years ago. So we have our little bee wings up on top, all done the way it looks. I gotta touch this up a little bit here. So she won't eat anything with peanuts in it, or any kind of nuts actually, I should say. And now we're going to go to our white to do our bumblebee on the rock, because we don't want the gray with the gray rocks. Just so that'll stand out a little bit more. So we're going to paint that wing that we got in rust, that we thought was a ladybug for a while, with our white. You can see he stands out good now. And I like caramel pecan turtle sundaes. Probably one of my favorite things. Although Dairy Queen has the animal cookies blizzard, and that thing is really good. I'd go for that too if you'd rather have that. You probably don't like animal cookies though. No?
Not really.
Oh my goodness. Picky girl we got. Plain chocolate, I guess, is what she likes.
Only custard.
Kind of picky.
Yeah, I don't like peanut butter.
Oh, their peanut butter
Nope.
one is really good. There's lots of peanut butter. Like the Reese's one is really good.
You can stop.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting?
I'm seeing if you stop at the Dairy Queen or
Oh, it don't matter to me. We're just getting our coat of white on our rust-colored wings here, because it's a bumblebee and not a ladybug. And we'll have to go back and do, well, I guess we don't have to do them. Them are gray. So we'll let this dry just a little bit and go back over it for a second coat while the other one is drying. And then it looks like I need to touch up my bees a little bit because I got yellow on the top, up that one up on top. So we'll wash our brush out. And I'd seen yellow somewhere where I didn't want it. Oh, I got gray on my yellow here, so we'll go back and touch up our bee.
What's your Dairy Queen order?
A small animal cookie blizzard. I'm just touching up our bee so he looks nice. We want to go back and touch things up if they don't look nice. And my black line's not straight now. Sometimes you have to do a couple touch-ups. Sometimes you should have just left it alone. So he's looking good, he's looking good. I can see black through my yellow here, so we're going to touch that up a little bit. And it looks like we got yellow coming through our black, so we're going to go back and touch up our black. So with them little areas, sometimes you have to touch up a couple times. So we'll touch up here a little bit. So I did put my stepping stones that we did in January, I put them outside at the classroom, so that was one I put on the building. That was kind of cute. Bury them out back, Courtney says. We're not going to bury them, they're too cute. I put one on by the door, and I put one in the wagon, or the chair actually. Cordy says somebody's gonna want them. Oh, she's gonna hide them on me now, you guys. 'Cause she ain't gonna want nobody wanting them.
No, they're going in the shed. Tom can look at them.
Well, I'll take them home then, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so the Stepping Stones just lost their happy home, you guys. They'll have to come home with me. The one with the welcome on is
Isn't bad.
that one pours
dragonfly
okay,
one,
but the dragonfly
I
is
could
the
just-
trouble
I
one.
could just take a sledgehammer to them.
So I'm just touching up my black on my bees now so they look nice. I got it a little wonky
You
here.
can keep the welcome, but that dragonfly has to go.
Okay, so that's looking good. Oh, maybe a little bit up here. We do have some more Donna inserts coming with our clay order. I think we talked about that last week. I'm not sure though. We have the dragonfly coming, the hummingbirds coming, the honeybees are coming, the fishing lodge is coming. There's 12 of them, so now I did get some yellow on my roof here, so I got to touch that up. So I'm just going to go back and grab a little dry brush. I'm going to go with a size 5 and go back into my rust. And we're just going to touch up where things got fingerprints all over here. So that does happen sometimes. Nothing out of the ordinary. So you just want to go back and touch stuff up. Okay, so we got our roof kind of fixed here. Look at it again. Okay, wash that out because we're done with that. So our next number is, we got our bees done, so now we're going to dry brush white on our daisy flower petals. So how are we doing on time, Courtney, before I start a new part?
Well, he's got 20 to 30 minutes worth of stuff he has to do before he can leave. So
What time is it though?
it's 8:15.
Oh,
If you wanna go a
8:15?
little over, you can.
I guess we will dry brush our little daisies with our white then.
We're behind.
So I'm going to go with a littler brush here. Let me see, what am I going to go with? I have a size 3 and I have a flat, and I do like the flats for little areas because I can turn it on its edge or I can use the wide part. So we are going to go with the flat, number 3, because our little daisies are kind of small. So I'm going to dip into my white and brush that out. Now, a lot of times I do like to save a set of brushes that are just for the white, because now you can see this. My white has a little bit of a peach hue to it because I probably have rust in my brush a little bit from the last time I used it. A lot of times when your brushes get stained like that, this says the blue, it's probably going to have a blue hue to it. So I do like to save a set just for white, but I don't have a set here just for white. But it'll be okay. So we're going to dry brush with our number 3 flat across all our little daisy petals here. And we're just going to make little brush strokes and kind of get them all covered. We're going to get the back of the one that's on the back side as well. And that's too much paint. It went on really white. So I think this is a little leaf right here on the edge, so we're going to let that, we'll get that green. Then this is the stem going down the side. So we'll get that with the green as well, but we'll get our white built up on our little daisies here. The actual flower petals. And then we can flip it around and go to the back or the front. And we'll get the rest of it here. And we need some more white. So what do you guys got planned for the week coming up or the weekend? Any big weekend plans? Anybody camping already? I know some of you are a lot warmer than we are here.
Are you putting the camper down?
Courtney asked if I'm putting the camper down. I would like to, but I don't know if that's really practical. camper actually has a flat tire. I have a problem.
It just needs to be pumped up or replaced.
No, I think it needs, Grandpa says a inner tube. I probably have to take it off and take it to Steve and see if he can, Ellertson, and see if he can
Bring it there.
put an inner tube in it or get a tire from him, I guess. But, I mean, there's 2 tires on each side, so it could still go down like that, but it'd probably be better to get it fixed. I just don't know if there'll be time to actually use it. It would be nice, because I haven't used it the last 2 years already now.
Why doesn't put it down there and
No, I thought I could go down there and clean Greenware too, so. But last year it went down, I only used it once, so. We'll see. So I'm just dry brushing our little daisy petals here so we get them nice and white. And you just build it up, you go from the front to the back. That way the front dries and then the back dries. And I only want about 10% of my black left, so the black that I can still see through my petals, I don't want that. I only want the black that's down in those crevices. I want nice bright white daisies. And you could do these in different colors too, because daisies come in different colors as well. You could make them black-eyed Susans or brown-eyed Susans or.
Brenda says to come to Myrtle Beach by her campground this
Oh, I don't think that's gonna happen, but maybe one year.
summer. Well, Connie said to put the camper at the farmhouse.
Well, I thought about that too, but then I have my spot down in the woods, and I don't want to. I mean, they went through all that work to.
Don't want to give it up.
Right,
Somebody might take it.
I don't want to give up Lot B down there, so that probably ain't gonna happen. But I did think about that.
Memorial weekend is when it kicks off.
Yeah, Memorial Weekend is the big summer weekend here, but usually Memorial Weekend's pretty crappy and cold, so it really ain't that big of a rush. But the tires probably gotta be done here first. Might just hire Austin too and just have him do it.
Have your nephew,
So.
he can mobile deliver it.
He can mobile deliver it. We're just dry brushing our white daisy, making it all pretty and happy and cheery. Letting the black down in the crevices. Are you gonna come and camp if we put it down there?
I'm
No.
gonna stay with your sister.
Oh, you'll stay with her? Not gonna stay with me? What do you think is wrong with my
She
camper?
has air conditioning.
Oh, I
and
have
a
air
soft
conditioning.
bed.
Well, I don't have a soft bed. I have a table that makes into a bed.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, mine is a soft because it's got a tape. The table has a.
She's got a full-blown mattress.
Yeah,
with a
she's got.
comforter, pillow.
Yeah, well, I don't have all
fan.
that. We're a
You
little.
have a fan.
Well, you can have a fan. There's a generator. Actually, my generator's got a problem too. Grandpa says the chipmunks chew the wire off of it. So it's like it's more work. It's going to be a lot of work just to get back to camping.
Maybe you can plug into theirs.
No. Ebel should be able to fix my wire, I would think, or Grandpa. Okay, so we got our daisies looking all pretty here and white.
Your equipment's like boycotting you.
My equipment's boycotting me for not using it. That's why. That's what happens. Okay, we got our daisies white. So what's next? We're going to dry brush our center with Lexington green and then some lime burst. My favorite color, lime burst and Lexington green. So we have Doc Holliday, Lexington green, DH26. Let's see, I don't have the leaves. Oh, the dry brush, the flower centers, lime burst. Well, it looks like I missed the leaves too, you guys. So we're going to do our leaves and our flower center with the Lexington green. Huh? Yeah, there's this flower stem on here. I don't see where I added that. So I need another little brush. Let's see. It's a little big. That's a little small. So you can never find the right one. Okay, we have another size 3, but he's worn off a little, but I think it'll work. So we'll grab our Lexington green and brush it out. We're just going to brush our center a little bit with Lexington green. And then we'll get our other center with Lexington green. And we're just brushing it out right to where the petals meet. And now we can dry brush our little stems here with our Lexington green as well. And we'll let our black down in our crevices. He's starting to look like he's getting done. Work our Lexington green in there. So I do like the flat brushes because you can turn them on it, like I'm turning it on its edge to get up in those little crevices. So that works really nice. It's kind of actually been using the flat brushes more than the round brushes because of that. It just seems to be really handy. Kind of like having two brushes in one. Because where the big leaves here are, now I can do the wide part, but yet up in this little crevice I can turn it on its edge and go on the edge. So let's see, tomorrow's plan is to clean greenware to fire for, we have a 4-H lady coming on Monday, so we gotta get some stuff that the kids might like cleaned. No, I did get green on my gray, so we'll have to touch that up when we're done. But we'll do that when we're completely done, because we might get more green around. You just never know. Try not to, but it happens.
Did you like pour extra daisies, or are you out of them?
I'm pouring daisy now, but I have a...
Okay.
I mean, you need more than I have poured, so...
No, Daisy the fairy.
Oh, Daisy the fairy.
Like, did you pour extra before you put them all away?
There's four on that shelf.
They're all spoken for.
Oh, those are spoken for?
So did you pour extra?
No.
Stuff?
No, I'll have to pour more.
So Tanya wants to get last year's fairy set. But
Okay.
You're gonna have to pour more.
So put that on Asana. We have a new software program we're trying out to keep track of orders. So when Cordy gets an order, she can put it in there, and even though she's down here in Appleton, I can see it at my house. Or if we're at the classroom, we can add it there as well. And then when we get home, even though we're offline, it uploads. So that's been kind of nice this last week using that. So now I'm gonna, huh?
You like it?
Yeah. Let's see. So we're gonna use some. Did we use medium green at all? Yep. Let's go to our medium green. That's avocado. We don't want that. We want medium green. OS 463 medium green. And we'll give that a shake a little bit. And get a little drop of that. And then I'm just gonna highlight my leaves and stem a little bit, but just kind of on the outer edges, or like the light would be hitting it. Just real lightly. We'll get our stem all pretty here, so it's says I'm here, I'm growing, and
I didn't even notice that then.
Courtney didn't even notice that. Look at that. You didn't notice the
I
daisy?
noticed the daisy, but not the flower.
Oh,
or
the stem part?
part.
No. Nope, it's there. We're just highlighting that a little bit with our medium green, huh?
It had a lot of like.
Well, it's kind of like ziggy-zaggy. And I did use my same dirty Lexington green brush because we're still in the green family, so that's fine. You don't have to change brushes every time.
Subbing accent green for Lexington.
So Cordy says she's been substituting accent green for Lexington green. We haven't been able to get Lexington green either. That's been out.
Green either,
um,
not a rust.
Oh, we can't get leaf green or rust either? Well, geez.
They had like 25% of the colors in stock.
Courtney says they only have like 25% of the colors in stock, so from our supplier, so we're just getting everything is just a problem. Okay, so we have our nice medium green on there, so we're going to go to our line burst SS376, give that a little shake, use our same green brush.
I still have line bursts left. I stocked up.
If I was actually changing to a new color like brown or blue, I would change brushes, but we're gonna just use our green brush here. So I want to get my daisy center with a little bit of line burst here. And that'll let the dark green down in the crevices. And then we'll get just the tips of our flower or our leaves here. That'll kind of like brighten them up, like we're got new growth on them, or the sun is hitting them. Kind of on the stem we'll do a little bit like the sun is hitting that. And a little bit on the next one, and a little bit on this leaf down on the bottom here. And I'm just doing the edges of it. And we'll flip them around and do the tips of it on the side here, and then the edges on the back. Because it'll look like the sun is hitting that. Same with the little curly cues here. And then this leaf up here, and then our center. And I have more at the tip and then less as we go out, so it's kind of fades out. Because as it's tipped down underneath here, there's going to be less light shining on it, so there would be less of the bright green. It wouldn't be so bright. Okay, so we got our little flower stems all done. And what is next? And now we're going to put a touch of lemon peel in our center just to brighten that up a little bit. And I'm actually going to change to a different brush now because I'm going to yellow. I have a little size 0 because we have that little bitty center. And we have our lemon peel, which is OS434, Courtney. And we're going to go over our center here and just lighten that up a little bit. Kind of letting the green out towards the edge more. Because the daisies usually seem to have a little green in their centers. And we'll flip it around and do this side. Same thing, more in the center and less as you get away from the center. Again, you want to use a little brush that fits that area. I wouldn't want to use a big old size 10 because you could see that I would have lemon peel all over my white petals. So I'm using a 0. It's a smaller brush that fits the area. Now we have a nice yellow center, and if you want, you can like tip the edge of your leaves with a little yellow even, just to give them a little more highlighting. And then we can do the front on this one a little bit. It just gives it that new growth look to it. Okay, so we got that done. And how are we on time? 8:30. Okay, so I think that's where we will close off for tonight, because we can probably start with our next number, which will be our snail, and then we will have our mushroom and our chimney, and we'll be finishing this guy next week.
Everybody but Lisa and Marie.
So Courtney says everybody but Lisa and Marie.
I'll get with them in the morning, but if you're not Lisa or Marie and you're waiting to hear from me, reach out.
You should be caught up with whatever Courtney needed to get with you with. Otherwise, if you think she needs you're missing something from her, send her a message unless it's Lisa or Marie. And then I did bring the gnomes for the box. I don't know where they're at though. I thought I brought them in here. You can show them that quick. Yep. So this is your box that shipped. This is your May box. And I think Courtney's calling it a fungus among us, which was kind of cute. Huh? I didn't bring the extras, Courtney. So this is Boris and his mushroom. So he's our box that we'll be working on probably 3 weeks from today, because it'll take a week to do our girl and a week to do the other girl. Huh?
I only have a morning.
And there were 3 other pieces you could add. This is Morty with the moral mushrooms. There was Hannah, the girl, and then there was Poppy, the sitting guy. So you could add those if you wanted. But I am pouring more of those yet. We were a little backed up on them yet. But this is our May box that we'll be working on once we get our fairy house done. And then next week, hopefully, I have your June box to show you guys as a preview. So I think that's about it for tonight. Hope if you guys have any questions, you can always message us. It's better to message us than to comment on the post. But like Courtney will see the comments on the videos, so that does help. Give us a thumbs up or a heart if you like our videos and we're helping you guys out. Let us know that you like what we're doing or don't like what we're doing. And I guess otherwise have a great week this week, you guys. And you'll probably see a few pictures of what we're working on in the storage unit, getting molds moved and things poured. I do try to pour new stuff every week for this classroom. So otherwise have a great week, you guys. And we'll be painting again next week, Thursday at 7 Central. Thank you.